get bigger as this power play moves on forward. Want to try and grab this outer turret, and they will be able to do so very, very easily. In fact, KT not wanting to try and go for anything. The side lane now actually being occupied by Yukao on the top side. Trying to push Tal in, not wanting to give them too much, but already grabbing 2 outer turrets in very quick succession. And close to 2 minutes of Baron still remains for SKT.
Vision control from SKT has been better than KT's in this game. We talked about how they had great offensive and defensive vision in the first 20 minutes. That lane ward facilitate the teleport for Tal was the true MVP. Tal had been slowly being chipped away by Smeb in the laning phase the entire time. Went down for an early kill, but getting access to the back line was something that KT hadn't factored in. Meant they were exposed. And now SKT are up in turrets against a team that drafted for the early lead.
Well, Win as well comes in from Yukao. Gonna try and lock Tal in here. He doesn't have flash, remember. As Rush is just gonna run on over, and they're gonna be able to pick up that kill relatively easily. SKT were trying to rotate over. But the fact that they have done that means they weren't in position to capitalize from 2 members being top.
Morellonomicon being complete means there is kill pressure onto the Swain. But SKT, they've got their power in the mid-game, and now they're trying to find Smeb as well.
Yeah, Faker is actually going to be able to find the blue buff as Smeb just takes way too much damage. Bang's going to pick up the kill, and SKT, they're just rolling forward now.
SKT are just taking the script and ripping it up into little pieces. Say, Zeke's Convergence Braum in this game. So the first Zeke's Convergence isn't for the Xayah, it's for the Tristana to cheat the damage curve a little bit. Turned on in that particular engage. Didn't even need it there. One able to Prockix, didn't even need the Braum ultimate, but Bang does more damage earlier than you would have expected. This Tristana is warping the draft priority from KT in a couple of different ways. 4 turrets taken down in 1 Baron buff power play.
Yeah, and Faker is just a man possessed this game as well. He's been absorbing pressure across the map, and then in the last fight looked brilliant. Then chases down 2 kills. There does most of the damage to lock down the kill onto Smeb and also steals away the blue buff. Everything seems to be going that man's way, as we are going to have a look at this one again as the rocket jump comes through.
Watch the auto. This is the auto that follows him, so it looks like he's going to survive. Doesn't actually interact with the charge that was on him, so the satchel charge that was on him. The explosive charge didn't get buffed by that auto, but the auto following killed him. So the longest range Tristana auto. They say that the Tristana nerf was ranged. I have a counterpoint.
Yeah, I certainly do. I didn't know that it was sort of like it had a dead range, you know? It can either shoot relatively close to you or the other side of the map. I believe that was the unwritten adaptation. This rapid fire cannon has been completed, speaking of Tristana, and the Vampiric Scepter, so not opting in for any sort of armor penetration here against the draft of KT. It is going to be Bloodthirster potentially for item number 4 for Bang.
And now it's everything we evaluated about the game where KT needed to play is out of the window. Because SKT have a gold lead. They also have a front line. They have a vision lead, so they can actually reliably get Swain into the back line. And a couple of minutes ago, he was so far away from his second item, the Leandris, let alone the zone, is now he has both. And the amount of space this affords Bang to just free auto is something that KT just haven't got a comp that can answer.
Yeah, and they're actually just trying to set themselves up to get picks onto single members, and I think it's intelligent from KT, but they just don't have very many other options apart from that, and SKT, reading them like a book, are always ready to collapse. Even Tal on the bottom side has that teleport. He can get in towards the back line, try and use that Demonic Ascension to get everyone out of the way. We saw how effective it was in that first team fight win for SKT. They're holding all of the cards. Now it's working out which order to play them. Close out this game for SKT. Oh, Def taking so much damage from Bang, who's just standing outside of turret range.
Kind of by accident, because Bang is much more about the siege than he is about the poke, but he'll take both if he can get it. Waits for the next auto. He's just basically backing off and walking up every time he gets access to his rapid-fire cannon.
Yep.
He's just chilling.
Not scared at all. As the rest of his team hanging around, was just trying to be juicy bait, but he'll take the turret if it's there in front of him, and now 6,000 gold is going to be the approximate lead for SKT. Turned this game on a dime. 15 minutes in, it was KT looking like they were ready to start rolling over, and then SKT turn it on, find the team fight they're looking for, get the Baron, and they're not letting up.
Such a pleasure to see Bang's return to form this year. So many people were there saying his time is up after the famous loss. And in general, his struggles at the 2017 World Championships. Now, if you told me in 2018, what about a meta where it's all about the AD carry only, like the meta at Worlds 2017 turned out to be. This Bang is the one that's ready to go in that scenario. It's a little bit later, but if it's enough to take SKT over KT and continue their gauntlet run, SKT fans are ready to forgive and forget because Bang is in tip-top form.
And he's on the Tristana pick here as well as Smeb. He's waiting. Okay. Secret Agent Nah. Hanging out in this brush. He's going to get face checked, is Bang. There's a lot of damage is actually going to be offered back, and Smeb actually regrets this decision close to the Nah bar. Boomerang's going to slow Bang down.
4 control wards on the top side. One of them actually spotted out Yukal, so while he was, of course, jump scared by there being a Gnar there, he was happy to turn on because there was no way for Yukal to get involved. He knew it was going to be outnumbered. SKT, they just shrugged that one off and just add a Cloud Drake to their bounty of neutrals this game.
Yeah, they're going to be able to grab all of the dragons this game. It's only 3 because our first Drake was a little bit late. Remember Bang picking that one up with the Smite fight, and then the Infernal was free, so all too easy for SKT, who have eliminated the outer ring of turrets as well. KT, they just don't have a lot of map that belongs to them, and this Baron a long way away from control. It's just going to go down so incredibly fast. Tristana and Azir that are this fed at this stage of the game just destroy it, and that calculation on the timing was way too late for Yukal.
I mean, the fact that the Weaver's Wall was there 2 seconds after the Baron died let you know that KT had no idea exactly how much power the Azir and Tristana were packing. They would have walked up, basically delete it. Looked in this general direction, it wilted. Baron just waved the white flag, and
yeah,
I think it's not long till KT Rolster will have to wave the white flag for game number 1. They had this tempo draft about always staying in front of the scaling draft from SKT. Scaling draft came online early. Never able to get going, and now they interrupt the back from Deft, who's backing on a ward, and that means that Bang's going to kill this turret instantly.
Yeah, it is so dead. That turret goes down in a blink of an eye. The inhibitor should follow as well as Yukal, trying to deter them, and actually does so, but Bang decides he's going to turn around and crit Yukal's face off. That means
third auto, he would have died.
Yeah, just ludicrous. Bang now moving himself over. 5 members collapse onto the mid lane with this Baron buff, with the Siege minion, with the minion wave just withering at the sight of SKT. There's the pullback actually, gets the Featherstorm out of Deft, and he's down to half health. Feels like 1.5 auto attacks there from Bang will take him down, and that means also the inhibitor turret falls. A lot of damage onto Smeb, who has to get the crush to get his way out.
No frontliners here, and Alistair, Anar, and Olaf, none of them can go anywhere near auto attack range. But Tristana, and she's at level 17, so we know that's pretty damn far. They walk up, game should end here. I don't think KT have any Hail Marys left, and SKT, maybe they'll just play with their food a little bit more and buy some sweet items.
Yeah, Bang had about 1 billion gold, I think, sitting in his back pocket, so he's going to go back, finish off his Bloodthirster, and we'll see what else he can actually pick up there as well. The Executioner's Calling going to come in to build towards that Mortal Reminder, so yeah, it's a lot more damage now available for Bang, and not a lot of healing available for KT as well.
Scary thing about this game is, if I think about it, based on expectation, based on the prep I had going into this series, KT kind of got what they wanted. They had the better 2v2.
Yeah.
When you're able to field Xayah and Alistair, we see our first Tristana post-nerf in the LCK. It was more centered around making a laning phase weaker. They also had a preferential top lane matchup. They picked the Gnar into the Swain. Those were the sort of things that KT needed to beat SKT in my estimation. But none of them have been able to be fielded. One mistake around a skirmish, and everything has been rewritten for SKT, and all the early game for KT meant nothing.
Yeah, well, Vision of Empire is going to come down, spots out KT, who just all get trapped in the Cataclysm. That is massive as Tull gets the flash in over the top. Bang, just solos out Deft off to the side as the Empress Divide doesn't do that much, but does get the picks, and Bang, he just wants more kills. Doesn't have the flash available, otherwise you know that he'd be jumping on top of KT, and now game 1 should be in the hands of SKT. Against what felt like the run of play, they're going to continue their gauntlet run in style in game 1.
SKT looking like the sleeping giants they will always be as an organization. They finally settled on a lineup, and in this game they were able to answer a lot of the preparation that teams would have flagged when it came to SKT's weaknesses, and even played into KT's strengths. But they turned the game on 1-1 team fight around 22 minutes, got the Baron, and never looked like losing from there.
Yeah, and I think the real question mark here is in that jungle role. Blank wasn't harassed at all by Rush in the early game. I felt like the Jarvan play was fantastic as far as reacting to where Rush was on the map. And it's not a lot of times that we get the opportunity to praise what Blank can do for his team, but this is certainly one of those occasions.
Really interesting. And what does that mean for whether Rush or Score will be playing in game number 2? We're not aware of who's in the studio. Pawn could still potentially be subbed in here, but KT Rolster, the coach will say that the draft was good, and the draft was good, but your decision-making needs to be on point if you're willing to surrender so many team-fighting choices, if you're willing to allow Bang to get through lane on the Tristana and not deny CS, play for the objectives rather than the denial. In the end, they denied themselves a chance to get back into the game, because definitely when SKT got over the hump by picking up those kills, it felt like they were completely set up to close game 1.
Yeah, it was that one team fight that really felt like there was nothing KT could do to get themselves back in. We have to remember the early game at about 15 minutes in did look good for KT. There are only so many things you can do when it's a SKT that's biding their time, getting themselves to the opportune moment, and then they capitalized on it pretty much immediately. So much learnings to take from this one. Game number 2 is going to be coming up just around the corner. Still, 2 more games for SKT to win, 3 for KT, and a short break before we come back for the second one.